Well, thanks, guys. We're excited about the group of young men that have chosen to, Youngstown State University is a place to come play football. First, I want to thank my staff, the coaching staff, the athletic department staff, everybody. It's a team effort as far as getting these guys comfortable with what Youngstown State, to choose Youngstown State on official visits, all the legwork that goes into that, and there's just so many people that work as a team to make that happen, and I appreciate all their efforts. Like I said, I like this group of kids that's coming in. To me, it's highlighted by the first and foremost. I'm not one to really get into specifics of talking about each guy. But we have some local kids: Joe Alessi, Zach Kennedy, Isaiah Scott, Jacob Zinni, Mark Scholler, and there'll be a couple other local kids that are going to be joining us as walk-ons that I can't talk about yet today because they haven't paid deposits and done certain things that allow me to speak about those kids. But we have a good representation in the area. We went outside the state a little bit, but we really focused our efforts in the state of Ohio and in Western Pennsylvania. Obviously, there's a couple kids that from outside of those areas, but the bulk and the majority are fairly local kids that I think understand the tradition of Youngstown State University, what the expectations are, and the standards that we have, and we're excited about it. Like I said, it's a really good group of kids. Not only good football players and kids who I think have a lot of potential as football players, but good students and kids that understand that they first have to do it off the field. They have to do it in the classroom first, in the type of kids, young men, and how they're going to represent this university, this community, and the program. And I believe the football part of it will take care of itself. We'll get them coached up. In a short amount of time, we're able to accomplish what we wanted to accomplish. When I looked at the roster when I came in, we wanted to not only add good football players, but build depth on our football team. So I felt like we needed some numbers. So we were able to add, even though we didn't have a lot of scholarship room, we were able to use some creative ways, some partial scholarships, those types of things to add numbers that I think are very important as far as building depth on our football team and a solid foundation for the future. So I think that's what today provides our football team and our football program. And really, in my opinion, recruiting doesn't end today. It really starts today because now with those young men, it's about time. It's time now to get them going, get them coached up. Really focus our efforts now on the young men that are on campus, that are in school right now, and hit the off season, get ready for spring practice, and start getting this football team trained for next fall. So I'll open up for any questions.
Coach, Jim Campbell, does the haul from Ohio and Western Pennsylvania signal a conscious change in philosophy here? Because zero Florida, zero California. Are we going back to the, quote, state of Youngstown?
Well, I think that'll be our focus, and that's going to be my focus right now. I mean, obviously, that's where I wanted to lean. I thought this year it was imperative that we did it that way, and I don't want to get into all the reasons why, but I'm not saying we're never going to go out of state. We're not going to end up in Florida, California, some of these other states. There are a lot of good football players in those places, but you got to pick when and why. And I think this is the right time. And I decided, we as a staff decided that there are a lot of good football players in the area, and that's the way we were going to go.
You mentioned the partial scholarship. I mean, did you lean on your staff kind of to figure out how much to give each guy, or can you maybe just elaborate on how you approach that?
Well, I looked at what I thought our needs were and what we wanted to accomplish, and what we had available is seeing that. We wanted to honor the scholarships that were given before I took over as a head football coach. We were going to honor those commitments, and then I figured out what our needs were, and we earmarked and said, okay, this is much room. This is how much room we have, and this is the situation we're in. So this is the way So we designated a certain amount of space for each position, and so that's kind of how we went about it. And well, really, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to accomplish our goal in the way we wanted to accomplish it. And so I'm thrilled to be standing in front of you to sit there, and we got most of the kids that we targeted, which is a very it doesn't always happen that way. But not only are they good football players, but as you notice as you go down the list, a lot of kids that played on winning football teams, winning football programs, understand what it takes, the type of commitment it takes to have success, to play for championship football teams that come from a culture where they understand what winning is. And so I think that was a big part of our thought process too.
Coach, in looking at some of the social media from some of the guys that you got, noticed a lot of them are saying that you're the reason why they chose to come to Youngstown State. Did you sense that in the recruiting process when you talked to them or interacted with these guys that made a big difference? I'd imagine it would.
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously my background probably helps a little bit, but I can tell you this: the assistant coaches worked their butts off, a lot harder than I did in this whole thing, and they did a heck of a job, creating relationships. You write down the list of our coaches, especially because we just hired a couple new coaches here recently. So, especially Ron Stoops, Shane Montgomery, Carmen Brasillo. Those three guys in particular were here from the very start and really did a heck of a job in kind of laying the framework, the groundwork, and following through on a lot of these kids. And we worked hard at it, and we identified the guys we wanted, and I always believe that it's about we watched a lot of film, we did a lot of evaluation, and picked the guys we thought were right for us, and we didn't get caught up in who offered them or who didn't offer them or anything else. It was who did we like and who did we want to target and go after, and who did we believe could come in and help our football program.
Coach, with your background, obviously at Nebraska, is recruiting, I know recruiting is recruiting. Is it easier, different, or was it different for you at this level?
No, it's very much the same. I mean, you got to do your homework. You got to watch a lot of film. You got to evaluate. Talk to people and find out from their coaches. I mean, heck, we had a lot of different stories in this class on how guys came about. And you got to turn over a lot of rocks and really keep looking and keep evaluating and figure out who fits you, and you really know what you're looking for. We were looking for kids that were tough, that played smart, they were football players, and guys that guys that make plays. I'm not one that gets caught up in measurables or how fast a kid perceived runs a 40 or what his size, all those different things. At the end of the day, I want to watch the film and see what a guy does and see what is he making plays. And obviously, you got to project a little bit, and I think we were able to do that. It's an inexact science, but now it's our job now to get them coached up and help them become the football players we think they can be. Because like I said, it only starts today. There's a lot of hard work in front of these kids and this coaching staff to. I feel good about where we are today, but as far as what this class becomes, ask me 2.5 years from now, and then I'll give you a better answer.
You had one transfer, Avery Moss, that you coached. Can you talk a little about him and just the decision not to bring in a lot of U1 transfers or JUCO guys so far?
Well, yeah, I mean, I brought in Avery because I have a history with him. I believe in the kid. I think it's a blessing for this program to get Avery in the fold and a part of this program, and not only because of the type of football player he is, but because of the man he is, and so I'm excited to have him, and we decided we targeted. I wanted to bring in high school kids, first and foremost, and kids that are going to be in this program for a number of years, who are going to help us build the culture the way we want the culture of this program to be. both on and off the field, and how they're going to represent this program, and kids that are about the right things, that are ready to excel in on the field and off the field. And I think we accomplished that. I really like this group of kids. I think they're high character young men. They're good students. They're going to represent this program the right way, and come in here and with an attitude of and lead this program heading into the future as far as the things that we're going to stand for, and the attitude they're going to bring to the football field and the practice field and into the classroom on a daily basis.
Coach, you mentioned projecting, and it seems on all levels of college football, more and more true freshmen are getting playing time. 2 years ago, you'd redshirt them. Do you see a significant amount of these young men competing right away for a chance to play?
Yeah, I mean, I always find it's usually it's a little bit harder for the big guys to play, and that's not always the case. But usually, that's probably a little bit bigger adjustment for the guys up on the line, because everybody is so much. You're just dealing with more size, and they're pounding each other every play. But we're going to need some guys. When I look at the roster, and the depth, I expect a number of these guys to compete for playing time. But one thing we don't do is walk in there. I've never walked into a recruit's home and said, you're going to come in and play. That's up to them. There's going to be they'll all be given an opportunity to compete, as are the guys on campus right now, and the guys who earned it on the practice field are gonna and who are doing the things the right way off the field are the ones that are going to be lining up for us, and that needs to be earned. Nobody here is guaranteed a spot. I don't care how many games they've played, started, anything else. I mean, it's going to be earned through the off season, through spring ball, the summer, and then in the fall camp. Those are the guys that are going to be lining up in September in that first game.
Coach, how much of a challenge is it coming into the new program, assessing your roster, and trying to build a recruiting class in basically 6 or 7 weeks' time?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't watched a lot of film of our team yet. I mean, I was looking at numbers and kind of what I projected our numbers to be, what I want them to look like as far as building depth. Obviously, I leaned on the coaches that are here, and leaned on their input a little bit. But I really haven't started and had a really good chance to really evaluate what our guys on campus can do, other than this is how many backers we have, this is many wide receivers, and so on and so forth. And once again, leaned on the opinions and the experience of the guys that were here, and then now I'll turn the page and head and start focusing on what we have here, what their abilities are, what we need to do to make this football team better heading into the summer, and and what we need to accomplish through spring practice. But you can't do it all in 6 weeks. But we had to really focus on and concentrate on the recruiting, and like I said, I was more concentrated on numbers and in certain positions where I felt we needed to add some depth. And there are a number of these kids that are coming in that I think are going to be able to, we project them maybe at one spot or the other, but I think there's a number of kids that are might be able to play multiple spots, and it's going to depend on how big they get. We all know that changes. That can happen. You start getting to be 19, 20 years old, you go from being a freshman to a sophomore, or first year to second year, you're going to put on size, you're going to put on weight, and every kid responds a little bit differently, and a lot of that's going to depend on maybe the ultimate position that some of these young men end up at.
Coach, some of the kids we talked to today says this recruiting process is just so long. It's calls every night. You've said in the past when a kid verbals he should sign that letter that day. Do you still agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I've never quite understood why we need a signing day, and I think it's contrary to what we're trying to build these young men, and about being a man of your word, about living up to your commitment, those types of things that we all want. You want it in business, you want it in family life, you want it in all the different things, and really the recruiting process is really contrary to everything you want to develop on your football team once they get there. And to me, that has never made sense. But you know, a lot of people like the signing day thing. I mean, they want to put it on TV for 12 hours, 14 hours, and watch a bunch of kids put hats on. But I've never understood the why we had to go that route.
You mentioned a couple of your coaches that you retained from local staff. Can you maybe address what you liked about those guys and maybe what they add continuity-wise?
Well, we've played some good offense around here. I've known Shane Montgomery, known of him for a long time, and sat down with him and thought that, you know, with Shane staying on as offensive coordinator, I thought it was a good fit for what I wanted to accomplish and what we want to accomplish as a program, and it was pretty much a no-brainer if he wanted to stay. And you know, he felt strongly about Carmen Brasillo as the offensive line coach. I also like Carmen, and he's a tremendous recruiter, good offensive line coach, and we've had really some good success running the football around here, and hopefully I can help a little bit to make that even better on that side of the football. And I've known Ron Stoops for a lot of years, and so I thought it was a good fit. You know, I always look at you know, what's the fit? You know, I want to be comfortable with the guys I work with every day, and make sure that we see things, you know, a lot of the similar ways, and guys that are going to. And I'm not looking for guys that are going to agree with me all the time. I'm looking for guys that are willing to disagree, but at the end of the day are going to be good team players. They're going to be a good part of the staff, but are competitors, have high character and integrity, and are going to represent the program the right way. And I think we accomplished that with those three gentlemen, and really everybody that I'm looking to hire here.
Is your staff filled, Coach?
We've still got one more to hire.
Coach, how much are you just looking forward to signing days over with now, getting on the field, spring ball, and coaching football here at Youngstown State?
I'm looking forward to it. You know, I mean, recruiting really never stops. You're always, you know, have things to do as far as, you know, you're getting ready for the next year and that type of thing. But we got to put our full effort. We're going to give a little time off to the staff. You know, some of these guys are still moving and trying to get, you know, handle some things as far as getting that, you know. So we'll get back together here pretty quickly, and you know, after getting a little time off, and hit the ground running. I'm not going to take much time off, and you know, really dive into this football team that's on campus right now and start getting ready. I'm excited about it.
Coach, in your short time recruiting, have you had to do much with kids maybe you know, jumping ship, so to speak, the last second to go to a bigger school or you know, a Division I or FBS Division I?
No, not really. That always happens a little bit. I mean, I really don't blink an eye when that happens anymore. I mean, it happens enough that, you know, you control what you can control, and you know, I'm not gonna, you know, we're gonna show what we can do for kids. You know, we're gonna lay it out what their opportunity is, what we can do for them, how we're gonna help them, what this university can provide for them, what type of opportunity, and it's up to them to decide do they want to be a part of something special or not. And if they don't, we say God bless you and wish them well where they're going to go. But you know, you can't worry about what I found is, you know, a lot of times is you get the guys that want to be here, who want to be a part of this, and you admire the reasons why they want to come, and you try, and then it's up to you to help make their experience worthwhile. Now it's up to us to serve the kids who come into the program, make sure they have a good opportunity.
The kids you talked to, happy that you had a couple of coaches that they're familiar with, it's not a new staff, and you know, you have to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I think that helps. You know, especially, you know, with the kids that were committed, and you know, and they were, you know, and let's face it, you know, I get, even though I'm from here, it's been a while since I lived here, and you know, about guys that are around here that are familiar with how things are done, with what they've been in the program now for a few years, and that's advantageous to me too, because they can answer a lot of questions for me, and really everybody in the athletic department. It is really a team effort here. As I was hiring staff, there's a lot of people who served a lot of multiple roles in helping get this staff on board, and people who came in and worked on the weekends, worked during the recruiting, during the visits and that type of thing to make sure that everything went off smooth. And sometimes some of those things, as far as setting up meetings and setting up weekends, and that isn't always my strong suit. I'd rather just coach football. So a lot of people picked up the slack from me. So, but like I said, it was a team effort, and I appreciate it.
Coach, you said you haven't been around this area for 20 years, I think you said.
30 about.
30 years. Did you need maps to find the new schools and all that?
No, I can still find the schools and such. It's just, things change. Really, probably the biggest adjustment for me, and I think like I said, I had a lot of help in doing it and figuring it out, was, there are some different rules at this level than what I dealt with, as far as when you're dealing with just 85 scholarships, and here you have 60. You can have 85 on scholarship with 63, and be able to figure out how it all works, financial aid wise, and different things that count and different things that don't count, and so that was an adjustment, and it was something I had to pick up on pretty quick to figure out how to strategize and sign this class, and so I got a lot of help and a lot of people stepped up to make sure that came off smooth.
Coach, was it a challenge for all of your career? You're recruiting players to top 5, top 10 programs at an FBS level. Now you're recruiting a little different kind of athlete. Did you have to lean on the coaches to really look and see, does this kid fit here?
No, not really. I go off the eye test, and it's interesting. It's not what they are right now, what you project them to be a year or two down the road, and maybe a different. I don't know. I don't even know how to put it, but when I was at Nebraska, because of the population in the state and the surrounding states, it wasn't like I was out there. It wasn't like we were out there chasing a bunch of 5-stars most of the time when I was in Nebraska. Yeah, you offered them and you tried to get in on them, but realistically, sometimes it happened. A lot of times it didn't happen. So you had to recruit a long way away at times just to fill up your roster. Once again, based on sheer population, and so really the process here wasn't a lot different. What I found which I enjoyed here, was the fact that there's so many good programs and so much good football played in the vicinity. There's just more population, there's more schools, there's more kids that have been well coached, that there's a lot of more kids in the conversation. So, I was able to recruit in the car, and I haven't had that advantage in a long time.
Coach, you said you want kids that want to be here. Did you get a strong sense with the local kids after talking to them that they really wanted to be here?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I felt really good about that. That they want to be a part of something that, that we're gonna, I told them what we want to accomplish here. We want to compete for championships. We want to, and what we're going to stand for as a program, and they were all in. And that's good. That's a good thing. Let's face it, we're not going to. Kind of like I was just talking about in Nebraska, in the Youngstown, Warren area, the population isn't quite what it was. There's the amount of schools, the amount of football programs aren't what it was when I played. What was it, about 100 years ago when I was playing high school football, but there's still a lot of good football around here. But when you add in Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Cincinnati, Western Pennsylvania, in that area, and up through PA, that's a lot of football programs, a lot of kids, and a lot of good football, and which is a tremendous advantage for us here at Youngstown. And to me, those are the kids that are very familiar with the history, the tradition, what this community is, what this university stands for, and I think I only think it's going to get better. We offer a good product. We offer something that not only athletically but academically, that kids will appreciate the opportunity to come play here. And sometimes when you go a long way away, then you have kids coming in and they don't quite understand. But when you have the more kids we have from this area who are going to come in and play for the reasons that we want kids to play here at the university, and have that culture in place and that foundation set up. Then when you bring in kids from a ways away, they come in and you put them in that culture, and they're going to transition a lot easier than if you don't have that solid foundation from the kids from Northeast Ohio, Western Pennsylvania, and who understand what this university and this football program is all about.